So a very good morning to all. Today's session is about introduction to Python. So let's understand what Python make unique. So first of all, what is Python? Python is a general purpose programming language which has become so popular among developers nowadays. First of all, it is a high level interpreted language. That means it does not require any compilation, just like PHP or JavaScript. Python has a very clear syntax and readability, which has made Python very easy to learn. It is almost as easy as making a program in simple English language. Everybody can learn Python, even children going to school can learn Python. It is that easy. Python supports both procedure and object-oriented properties, as it is suitable for scripting and development of various applications. One more thing with Python is that you can run it on different platforms like Windows, Linux and Mac as well. So next, here you can see one side here is Java and second one is Python. So now suppose you are writing a program in Java and you have to write 50 to 60 lines of code. But what if I tell you can do same thing with lesser line of code? So it can be possible in Python. Yes, it is possible in Python. This is the reason for its popularity, as today's environment, developers want to spend more time on implementation rather than development of complex programs. Now next is about the history. Python was created in 1991 by Guido von Rossum. It has a rather funny story attached to its name also. So creator here was very fond of comedy series that called name was Monty Python. Therefore name comes from there. He wanted to make a language that is look beautiful and easy to understand. To do this, he used indentation instead of curly braces to basically describe block of codes. Python is more productive but takes a lot of time. So you can say Python is slow, but nowadays it is becoming more popular in every field. Next, we will discuss about the features of Python. Some features of Python are here I explain one by one. Let's explain one by one. So first of all is easy. Python is easy to code. Easy to code, like you can as I told, it is a high level programming language, so it is very easy to learn the language as compared to other languages. Next, free and open source. Free and open source means like you can download it freely from www.python.org website. Next one is your object oriented language. Object oriented language supports object oriented programming language. That means we can use the concept of classes, objects, encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism, etc. Next is the GUI programming support. In Python, you can make any type of applications like GUI, desktop applications. So we will do that by different platforms. Next is high level language. That means when we write programs in Python, we do not need to remember the architecture, nor we need to manage the memory. Next one, extensible feature. That means you can use Python into C or C++ and compile with any language. Portable language, that means you can use in any platform. As I told earlier, it can be used with Windows, Mac, Linux. Next, one is it is an integrated language. That means as it is an integrated language, because we can easily integrate Python with other languages like C and C++. Interpreted means Python code is executed line by line Like other languages, C, C++, Java, etc., there is a need of compiler, but in Python you don't need compiler. The source code of Python is converted into an immediate form that called bytecode. Next one is your large standard library. Python has a large standard library which provides a rich set of modules and functions. Therefore, many libraries present in Python for web browsers, for different types of database connectivity, for unit testing, for regular expressions. There are many libraries. You can use libraries for research purpose also. Next one is your dynamically typed language. Python is a dynamically typed language. That means in previous languages you have to define the type of the variable, but in Python you don't need to define the type of the variable. Next, some applications of Python. Application means where Python are useful, are using in real world application, real time applications. So first one is your web and internet development. Web and internet development, the Python provides various features for handling the web and the internet. It is used for development of various frameworks. In this we will discuss about various types of frameworks are used for web and internet development, like Pyramid, Django. So various types of platforms are used for website development. Second one is your scientific and numeric. In this Python is widely used in scientific and numeric computing for handling mathematics, engineering and science. SciPy is a framework that is used for mathematical and engineering science to analyze the model and data, whereas Pandas framework is used for parallel computation and visualization. Another framework is also IPython is used. Okay, so IPython, SciPy and Pandas, these are the frameworks which are used for scientific and numeric calculations. Next one is education. For student, Python is a powerful language to learn programming skills. By learning Python programming, the student will able to develop various real-time applications, issues that may arise while teaching the language. So you can develop real-time applications. Next is desktop GUI. For Python, we can use different types of libraries, like TKGUI library provides a binary distribution. There are also platform specific libraries such as GTK, Kiwi and many more toolkits for various platforms. Next one is your software development. So nowadays Python is widely used as a standard programming language for developing software. Python can be used for various applications such as building, controlling, management and testing. For building and controlling, SCONS framework is used, and for testing, BuildBoard framework is used for the management. Another framework is Stack framework is also used in this type of development. Last but not least, the application, that is gaming. Python is most important using for to develop the games, robots. As I told earlier, Python are mainly nowadays it is most popular in the field of research for AI, machine learning. Next, so where Python is used in industry. Now there are thousands of companies who use Python. I have listed a few of these. So these are some companies who are using Python nowadays. So let's have a look and discuss them one by one. So first of all, Google. Google is most tech giant who use Python for better search results are provided based on ranking of the websites and much more. Next is your Dropbox. So Dropbox is a cloud platform to save data online. Client and server applications are coded using Python. Next is your NASA. NASA, this is NASA. NASA is scientists used for calculations, which helps them reduce the time and makes their work easy. Next is National Security Agency. National Security Agency uses for cyber security analysis and other encryption and decryption work is done using Python. Next is your BitTorrent. BitTorrent used to transfer of files between peer-to-peer. Next is your YouTube. YouTube is used Python to provide better searches to its users. And the next one is your Netflix. That is last one, Netflix. It uses machine learning to cluster users based on their interest on shows and retain them for a longer. So these are various industries who are using Python nowadays. Next, among the top programming languages of 2020, Python and JavaScript have moved the most. Python is becoming more popular in nowadays or in 2020. Like by this graph I have shown this how Python is becoming popular other than programming languages. Next is the career opportunities in Python. So career opportunities in Python is about Python are used in every field like web development and frameworks. It can be used for game development. It can be used for big data, like to analyze the data at a large amount of time. So you can use big data. Smart devices or for IoT devices you can use Python. For AI and data science analyst or data analyst you can use Python to analyze the data or to analyze the results based on some graph or different, because there is a lot of libraries in Python supports that are helpful in research purposes. Next one is your web testing. So these are some career opportunities. Thank you. Good morning everyone. Today we will learn how to install Python on your machine. Anaconda Edition is a world's most popular Python distribution platform with over 20 million users worldwide. Mostly Python shall use in the beginners level, and if you are interested in graphical user interface then you should use Anaconda. It allows you to work very effectively in a GUI environment. You can write your code, debug and execute your code in this interface. It is a desktop based also or GUI based and can make use of Google Collaboratory, which is an environment which is cloud based. So Anaconda is a free and open source distribution. Let me show you how to download it from the website. Just simply type Anaconda download on Google. The first link which you are seeing here, just click on that. Now find the download button which is here. When you click on download button, it will ask you about the Windows about the operating system which you are using on your machine, whether it's a Windows, Mac OS or Linux. So according to your system requirements or according to your system supports, you can download Anaconda version from here. As I am already having Anaconda on my machine, let me show you how it looks. So it's the interface of Anaconda. Below every app you have a launch button. I am using Jupyter Lab or Jupyter Notebook here. Rather than getting itself confused with all this set of application, you can read up the details. You can read up the details here. With the every application you have find the details mentioned here, ki whether it is useful for web applications, whether it is used for GUI interface or for research purposes. You are having RStudio also here. Then when you want to use, just launch. So I have already launched Jupyter Notebook on my machine. Let me show you how it looks. So here it is a look of Jupyter Notebook. Let me show you how it appears. Here is a now it is the working environment of Jupyter Notebook. Actually, it allows us a comfortable environment for maintaining the code. So how it works, let me show you. Here you see the old folders are shown here. If you have already a file designed, then you can upload here and use that particular file. Otherwise, if you are working first time, then you have to click new, select Python 3. Now it does look like that. So it is very easy to work. This environment is very comfortable for maintaining the code. So we will use this for our particular course of Python programming. So now further, let's have a look. That is a Jupyter Lab and Jupyter Notebook. So here's a comparison between C and Python. What is C and what is Python? Some comparisons I have shown here, like C is a complex, whereas Python is easy. In C, indentation is not mandatory, whereas in Python, indentation is mandatory. Pointers are available in C language. No pointers functionality is available in Python. C is a compiled language, whereas Python is an interpreted language. So there is a limited number of built-in functions in C, whereas a large number of functions in Python. Implementation of data structure requires its functions to be explicitly implemented, whereas it is easy to implement data structures in Python with built-in like insert, append functions. Next, I have also covered the difference between Java and Python. Compilation process, Java is both compiled and interpreted, whereas Python is interpreted language. In Java, longer line of code, whereas in Python, shorter lines of code. Syntax complexity, defined particular block by curly braces, whereas in Python, no semicolons, no curly braces, only indentation is used. Next, Python versus some similar tools. Similar tools is SAS. SAS contains a widely variety of functions performing statistical operations, but it is not an open source. To overcome this, we are using R programming. It is open source software that can be distributed to anyone. The Python provides various functions for performing statistical operations and other operations also. Another one is MATLAB software, is also very popular and widely used software again, but it is not an open source software. Next is some keywords. Keywords are basically that are fixed, that can't be changed, that can be used as a variable name. So here are some list of keywords in Python. Next is of your Python identifier. So identifier represents the names used in the Python program. The length of the identifier can be varied from one to another. Some rules are here. The identifier can be a combination of various elements like uppercase, lowercase, digits, underscore, etc. Any one of keyword is not permitted to act as an identifier. First letter of identifier should not be a digit. Special alphabets like exclamation, @ hash, etc. is not permitted as a part of identifier. Next is Python indentation. Indentation is the most important thing in Python, as we are not using curly braces in Python. So in Python programming, a group of code or statements are arranged in an individual block. Each block can be separated with the indentation, like this one. Each block is showing by indentation, like this block, then particular sub block, then particular sub block, then end of this block. Next is comments. How comments are shown in Python. So hash is used for single line comment, and for multiple line comments you have to use triple double quotes like this. This would be a multi-line comment in Python. Starting from here, 3 line comments is like that. Thank you. Hello everyone. In today's session, we will learn about variables, data types, operators, and some expressions in Python. So first of all, let's understand what is variable. So a variable is a memory location which is used to store a value. In Python, variables can be initialized without declaration. Based on the value of input data, type of variable will be automatically considered. That means you don't need to define the type of variable like int, float, string, etc. So every value in Python has a data type. Variables can be declared by any name or even alphabets. Next, to assign values to a variable, we will use equal to sign. Some rules for Python variables. A variable name must start with a letter or underscore character. Variable name cannot start with a number. It can contain only alphanumeric characters and underscores. Variable names are case sensitive in Python. So it's a main point here, like if you write small a or capital A, then both are different. Next, side by side I have opened Jupyter Notebook so that I will show you the practical of this part. So now understand Jupyter Notebook. So first of all, declare a variable with no value, like simply write x and just run it. So it will give you an error that x is not defined, because in Python to use a variable you have to define you have to initialize a value to that particular variable. Like if you write x equals to 10, then it will not give any error, and to print this value simply write x and run it, then you will get the output that is 10. For multiple variables, just write y equals to like 2.5. Simply want to print here like y and just run it, so it will print the value of y. One more thing, as I told that variables are case sensitive in Python, so you have to take care of it. Like if I write y, capital Y, and want to show the value, so it will show y is not defined, as earlier I have used small y and now I am using capital Y, so it will give you an error message that y is not defined. So next is, now we have understood variable declaration, how we declare a variable. Now let's quickly move on to various data types available in Python. So data types, what are data types in Python? In Python programming, the data can be maintained by variables. The type of the variable represents a value stored within the variable. Type inferencing is also allowed in Python. So journal keywords like int, float, etc. are not required for the variable declaration. Okay. So to check the value of particular variable, or you want to know the type of the variable, just write type or the variable name in brackets. So it will show you the data type of that particular variable. Like if you write type y and run it, then it will print float, as I have given 2.5 value in that particular variable. Okay. So coming to data types, there are basically 6 types of data types in Python. First one is your numbers, second is string, third one is your list, fourth one is your dictionary, fifth one is your tuple, and last not least is the set data type. So let's discuss one by one. First of all, numbers. What are numbers in Python? There are basically 3 numeric types in Python. First of all, int, float and complex. Let me show you an example. Like if you want to know the type of variable, instead of writing the name of variable, you can simply write the value also. It will give you the type of that variable, like type 12 integer. If you want to know the type of 12.8 and run it, it show the type that is float. Next example of complex, let me show you. Some 2 plus 5 like iota j. When you run it, it will give you complex data type. In same way, if you want to know the type of like boolean type, in boolean type we will use true and false value. So if you type true and run it, T must be capital, that's why it is giving you error. Type true, now you run it, so it will give you bool data type. Okay, so for false you just have to write type F capital false, so it will give you bool type. Okay, similarly if you want to check the type of string data type, string values, so simply in Python for string values you will use single quotes or double quotes. So type in double quotes, if I write hello and run it, you will get str. For string type of values you will get str. Okay, so in single quote also you can pass the value of string, it will also run, so it will give you str data type. Okay, now next, here's the example of type that I show you here. Next one is your string data type. String data type is basically considered as an array in Python. So array index starts from 0. Index, what are index in programming, or what are index in array? Actually the starting value from where you start the values, like you want to store hello, so starting from 0 index is always start from 0 in array, and in Python as strings is just like considered as like arrays, so its indexing is just start from 0 and always 1 less than the total number of characters. Like for example, like I write hello simply world and I want to print it, then simply write A, you will get hello world. And by the index value, like if you want to get the value of index value at 0 position, just simply write A in brackets 0, it will print you H, because at 0 index the value is H. Then if you want another value, simply write like A6, indexing start from 0, so it will print W at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is space. See, if I print A5, then what it shows? Simply blank. That means here's the space, 5th location पर जो है वो space है. So here it is. If you want to print array of characters, like multiple characters, like if you want to print like A starting from 2 index to 6 index, try this. So it will print HLLO, that means 0 index से start होगा और जो 6 index है वहाँ तक वो print करेगा. ओके, सो 6 इंडेक्स तक इसने क्या किया, जो एक लेस था हमारे पास 6 इंडेक्स तो बेसिकली W है, एक लेस देन द वैल्यू मस्ट बी लेस देन दैट पर्टिकुलर दिस वैल्यू. ओके, सो वन मोर थिंग, लाइक इफ यू वांट टू प्रिंट A -1, try this. What it prints? The last character, that is D. So here's a good feature in Python that the values, if you want to print in reverse order, then you can start indexing from -1. -1 will print you the last character, -2 will print you the second last character, like this. -2 अगर हम try करें, so it will print L, because hello world था तो that is L. Okay, so here's a new thing in Python. Next, one more thing, more important thing in strings is that in Python the string data will be considered as an array, as I told you earlier. For string data we use two operators like plus and star. The plus represents the concatenation. If you want to concat two values in string, then use plus, and if you want to repeat that particular value, then use star. Let me show you an example. If you write A single quote HA, like I have written here also the example, this one, plus concat I, and you simply print, just write that particular variable, then it will print you hi, HAI. Okay, hey. Then if you want to use the star operator, what it will do, see, just simply write the occurrences of this variable, like I want 2 times. Okay, so print A, then run it. What happens? It prints HA 2 times, that is haha. Again, if you want multiple occurrences, like if I write 5 A and run it, then it will print 5 times HA. Okay, so next, move to next. I hope you will understand all this. Next data type is your list. List are different from tuples. अभी tuples हम लोग discuss करेंगे. What are tuples in Python? Actually, whole Python is based on all these data types. Okay, so these all are new in Python, and every data type offers many benefits. So we'll discuss these data types one by one. First of all, list. List does not have a fixed number of elements. Okay, a list does not have a fixed number of elements. That means इसमें जो भी values होंगी that must not be that are not fixed. It uses square brackets. A main important thing in Python is that now you can, how you will understand what is list, what is tuple, what is dictionary by the help of brackets. मेनली जो ब्रैकेट्स हैं, हम ब्रैकेट्स यूज़ करेंगे, उन्हीं की हेल्प से वी विल अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट वेदर इट इज़ अ लिस्ट, वेदर इज इट अ टपल, वेदर इट इज़ अ सेट. ओके, सो चेंज ऑफ वैल्यूज इज अलाउड हेयर. Change of values is allowed here means कि if you want to change the value of particular index, then you can change that value. Okay, so let's see with an example. Okay, so if I write x equals to 4, 5, 6, simply if I print it, then simply print. Again the concept of indexing follows here also, like if you want to print the value at index 0, so x, just write x0, you will get the value of index value 4 at 0 index. If you write index value 2, then you will get 6. Again, if you want to the last value with the negative indexing, then you just write x minus 1, also print 6. Okay, so as I told, like change of values allowed here. So if you want to change a particular value at particular index, then just write and simply print x. Okay, and run it. Now see, I have updated that values. Firstly, before earlier 4, 5, 6 is there, now 10, 5, 6 is there. Continue to our last lecture. We are discussing lists. Next, this is an example of list. -1 represents the last element, as I told you. So next one is your dictionaries. What are dictionaries? Basically, dictionaries is used to maintain multiple type elements. It uses curly braces for specification of data. It maintains the data by using curly braces. Within the curly braces, you just like key, colon, value, comma, particular, like all, many things, many keys and many values. Multiple entries are separated by comma operator. Again, change of values allowed here. It is a main point in Python in case of data types. That's why I am writing again and again, like in list change of values allowed, in dictionary change of values allowed. In further types, it may not be allowed. Okay, so let's see the example of dictionary. Here I write, let me use this example. If I simply copy this, see what I have did. I have created a dictionary name X, in which 1, 2, 3 is a key, and A to 5.8 is a value. So here you can see dictionary consists of multiple types of values, like one is a string type, one is integer type, and one is float type. Okay, so multiple entries, as I told, like multiple entries are separated by the comma operator. Okay, then next again indexing follows array, like if you want to print x at key value 1, then what it will print? A. Okay, here you just remember, like x indexing, I told earlier, indexing starts from 0. If I write x0 and run it, it will give you error. In case of dictionary, indexing concept doesn't work from 0. It will work with the help of keys, like key 1, key 2, key 3. If you want to get the values, then you just have to write key of that element, like x2. If you run it, it will give you 2. If you want key value at key 3, then write happens, then 5.8 will be printed. Okay, so in case of dictionary, you just have to remember, if you want to print that value, then you must use key. Okay, not indexing. If you write 0 index, then it will give you error. Okay, so next, move to next, tuples. So what are tuples? A tuple is a list with a fixed number of elements. It uses parenthesis for specification of data. Okay, so यहाँ पर हम लोग बेसिकली कौन सी parenthesis सिंपली यूज़ करेंगे tuple को बनाने के लिए. So let's have an example. Simply write x equals in parenthesis 4, 5, 6. Okay. So again, simply, if you want to simply print it, then you get the values 4, 5, 6. Indexing concept is follows here. So you can get values by index 0, that is 4. If you write index -1, you will get the last value. Okay, and if you write x2 0, 1, 2, also get the value 6. Okay, so in case of tuple variable, change of values is not permitted. I have write a note here, in case of tuple variable, change of values is not permitted. Like in previous case, list case, I have give you an example that list can be updated, but in case of tuples, they can't be updated. Like if you want to update the value at location 10, so it will give you an error, like tuple object does not support item assignment. Okay, so no updations are permitted here. Next, move to another data type, that is set. So set is, what is set? A set is an unordered list of elements. Unordered means like no order is fixed here. That means if you define a set with values 1, 2, 3, and when you print that particular set, the values will come in different order, in random order. Okay, a word like mutable objects, mutable and immutable must are using in case of Python. That means if it is a mutable, that means changes are allowed. Like in case of tuple, that is immutable, changes can't be allowed. If you are doing changes here in case of tuple, you are getting an error message. So in case of sets, duplicate entries are not allowed. Like if you write 10 3 times, when you print that set, you will get 10 only one time. Set don't have index, index values are not used here, so every time it will show you a random values. For example, like if you want to make a set, like set if you run it, see the order of values are AHI. Okay, if you again try this, every time or sometimes the order must be changed. order of elements can be changed. Okay, so if you use index, like I told, indexing starts from 0, you can print values from 0, 1, 2. So in case of this, like sometimes I have given HAI but it is printing AHI, so S2, what it gives you? It gives you an error. Okay, see, type is also working here. Type can also work here, like type. If you want to know the data type of S, just type S and the data type is set. Okay, so move to next. What are operators and expressions? Operators and expressions. Operators are special symbols in Python that carry out arithmetical logical computation. That means if you write 2 plus 3, 2 and 3 are operands and plus is operator. Okay, so here are multiple types of operators. Let's discuss one by one. Okay, so first of all, arithmetic operators. Arithmetic operators are used to perform mathematical operations like multiplication, addition, subtraction, etc. So let me show you an example. Okay, so I just copy and paste it and then run it. So it will give you the values. Okay, so it simply works like plus means adding of two numbers, subtraction, minus means like subtraction of two operands, multiply two operands, divide two operands, modulus means the remainder part which returns the remainder, double slash means the floor division. Okay, and the last one is your exponent. Exponent is basically the power. It returns the power of the particular variable. So next, comparison operators. Comparison operators are used to compare values. That means it returns either true or false according to the condition. So let's have an example of this also. Okay, just run it. So you are getting here. You are getting error here. Why? Indentation. Because of indentation. In PPT, I just write randomly or just no sequence I followed here. But in Python, you have to follow a sequence. That means no space allowed here. So the hash which I write here, that is the comment part. But the print statement, no gap is there. Okay, so if you run it, now it will simply give you the results. Okay, so indentation must be proper in Python. Next are some logical operators, that is AND, OR and NOT. AND will give you true value if both values are true. OR will give you true value if either of the value is true, and NOT is the opposite of simply true value. Here's an example. If I write x true, y false, print x and y is x and y. True false means false. Okay, अगर like you are using or means अगर एक भी true होगा तो that means result will be true, and not x is, that is उसका बिल्कुल opposite. तो x is अगर true है, that means its results will be false. Okay. Next are assignment operators. So assignment operators are used in Python to assign values to the variables. That means equal to 5. That means you assign a value 5 to a variable named 5. So these are some assignment operators with examples. Next, I am using here identity operators. So these are some different operators, new operators used in Python. That is identity operator. In identity operator, I am using two operators here, that is and is not. They are used to check if the values are located on the same part of the memory or not. Two variables that are equal does not imply that they are identical. Is and is not. So identity true if the operands are identical means दोनों same होंगे तो ट्रू आएगा, और अगर नहीं होंगे तो इज नॉट मीन ऑपरेंड्स आर नॉट आइडेंटिकल. Let me show you an example of identity operator in Python. Like I have written x15 y15. If you check x1 and y1 are equal, so if you write x1 is not. Last section we are discussing identity operators. So here's an example of identity operators that I write here: x15 y15. When you check x1 is not y1, that both values are equal, but you are writing not, that means it will return false. Okay, x2 is y2, yes, both are equal, that means it will give true. x3 is y3, no. Why? The reason behind this is, see, I mentioned here x3 and y3 are list, they are equal but not identical. It is because the interpreter locates them separately in memory although they are equal, so it will result in false value. Okay, so next is your membership operators. What are membership operators? In and not in. What are membership operators? They are used to test whether a value or variable is found in a sequence like string, list, tuple, set and dictionaries. Let's have an example like in 5 in x. It will check whether 5 is present in x or not. Not in, that means that particular value must not be present in that variable. So here's an example like so it will give you error. Why? Indentation is not properly. So for indentation, remove the spaces. So run it. What's error? See, I have copy pasted, that's why it is giving error, otherwise it's okay. So answer is true, 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 false. How? See, when you see print h in x, yes, h present in x. Hello not in x. Hello not in x. Hello not in x. That means that hello is not present in x. H as hello is present, but h is capital there and this is h is small here, that's why it is resulting in true. 1 in y, yes, true. But if you write a in y, if you want to check in dictionary, if you want to work membership operators on dictionary, then you can only work on these keys, not on values. If you write a in y, that is the value of dictionary at key 1, so it will give you false, so it not work. It will not work. Here I mention is in a dictionary we can only test for the presence of key, not the value. Okay, so key के लिए check हो सकता है but value के लिए नहीं हो सकता. Next is last not least is bitwise operators. So what are bitwise operators? It acts and an operands as if they were strings of binary digits. The bitwise operators work bit by bit on the input data type. For each value, the 8-bit sky code will be considered, and on these bits, the following operations are performed. Various operations are performed on it, like bitwise AND, bitwise OR, bitwise NOT, and bitwise XOR. Various operators. So, in further sessions, we will discuss these data types, these various operations in detail. Okay, so thank you. A very good morning to all. So today's session is about control statements and conditional statements. Let's first discuss conditional statements or decision making statements. So in Python, decision making statements evaluate the condition and execute the associated block of statements for a single time. The basic decision statements in computer is selection structure. There are basically 4 types, like if statement, if else statement, if elif statement, nested statement. So there are basically 4 types of statements used in Python. In Python programming, decision making statements are used to identify the set of codes to be executed according to the given condition. If the condition is evaluated true, and the result will be printed. Otherwise, if the condition is evaluated false, then the result of else part will be printed. Okay, so let's have a look. First of all, the if statement. What is if statement? So if statement is used to evaluate the given condition, like and the block of statement is executed only if the condition is true. The disadvantage or the limitation of if statement is that if the condition is true, then the result will print, otherwise the result will not print. Okay, next is the example of this if statement. In this, what I have done, I have taken an input. Let me show you how to take input from user. Let's see an example of simple if statement, then further we will discuss examples of if else statement. Okay, so first of all is if statement. Okay, so if statement, to use if statement, what you do, just assign a value. Simply the syntax is if the condition, checking if condition is if n is less than 20, then in case of previous languages we use then, but here we don't use then, we use this colon, then enter. See here indentation matters a lot. So इसने क्या किया, अपने आप देखो एक स्पेस बना दिया. सो ये कंपलसरी है अपने आप की, जुपिटर नोटबुक में इसने अपने आप ले लिया. सो इट इज़ अ मैंडेटरी टू गिव यूज प्रॉपर इंडेंटेशन इज पाइथन. सो नाउ जस्ट प्रिंट condition is true. Okay, just run it. Now in case of this, if the condition is true, the statement is printing condition is true. If I change this value to 30, now what will happen? Nothing will happen. So in case of if statement, what's the problem is here, if the condition is true, it will print the result, otherwise it will not print anything. Okay, so this limitation is overcome by the next version of if, that is if else. Now write down the else version, else, else, again colon, then the print condition. Condition is false. Now run it. Now it will printing the else part also, that if the condition is false, then the condition of else part is printed, statement of else part is printed, otherwise the statement of this one, condition is true, then condition is true is printed. Okay, so this is simple if else statement. It is called alternative execution, in which there are two possibilities and execution determines which one gets executed. So in case of this, we will get the answer surely, whether it's a true or whether it's a false. Okay, so let me show you one thing, how to take input from user. Now let's see how to take input from user. If you want to make a journal program, then how you will get input from user. So here I write a program. If you delete this int, then let's see what error it shows you. When you enter a number, it says not all arguments converted during string formatting. As input function gives string value, so you need to convert it into int. Just write int here and bracket close, then just simply run it. Type any value, even number. Again, if you want to check for odd number, then write 5. So it's an odd number. What logic here I used? You just enter a number, then the number This is the mod operator. Mod operator returns remainder value. If that number is divided by 2, or when you get remainder 0, that means that number is even number. That means that number is even number. Okay, actually here I use elif and else also. Let me explain you one by one. First of all, let's see if I'll take input from user. The number will be mod by 2. If the remainder is 0, then it will print even number. elif is basically what? For multiple if condition. elif is a keyword used in Python in replacement of else if. जो काम else if previous languages में करता था वो elif यहाँ पे करेगा. If you want to use multiple if statements in a program, then you should use elif. So elif, I write another condition that if remainder not equal to 0, then what will it gives? Odd number. And if both these conditions not work, that means if neither it gives 0 or it is equal to some value, then what will be the answer? That means the else part will work. Okay, so if the condition is true, then this part is work. Otherwise, another condition will check. If this part is also false, then else part will be executed. That means it will print error. Okay, so it is the explanation of elif statements. So now move to next. By this figure, I have explained how it works. If condition 1 true, then code block 1 executed or exited. If false, then next condition try. If it is also true, then it will execute it. Otherwise, it will false. Then next. Otherwise, else part you can execute in this case. Basically, else part is used in cases why just to get a particular value. If the condition not becomes true by any reason, then a value should be printed so that you can understand what will happen. Otherwise, like in previous example, when we run simply if, we have seen only if the condition will true, the result is printed. Otherwise, nothing is printed. Okay, so next is, here's a program of largest among 3 numbers. Here's a program of largest among 3 numbers. Let's run this program. How to run this? See, if you want to run from here, like copy paste, then check about and let's continue with the program that is largest among the 3 numbers. In this what I have did, I have taken 3 inputs from user, that is A, B and C. Then I'll put a if condition between 2 conditions. To combine 2 conditions, I have used AND operator, that is logical operator here. It will return true if this both conditions will get true. So if A is greater than B and A is greater than C, if both condition gives the result true, then this particular condition, this particular statement is executed. Otherwise, elif means that another if you want in this program, you want to check it for B. If B is greater and B is greater than C, that means you will get the answer B is greater. If above conditions like this if and this if part is not executed or get false, then you will get the answer is C is greater. Let me show you. If you want to enter 3 values and simply now it will give you the value B is greater as it is the largest value. Okay, so now nested if, move to nested if. What nested if is? In this case of nested if, you can use multiple ifs, multiple elifs, multiple else. So it is the part of nested if. See what I have written here. I have entered a number from user, enter any number, and I check if that particular number is less than 15. If this condition is true, then you will enter in another if. It will check for if it is equal to 10, then it will print play cricket. This is the else part of this particular n equal to 10. If this whole will not execute, then this particular else part of this if is executed. See here I am using proper indentation. If you are not using proper indentation, then you will get errors. In case of Python, mostly errors are because of indentation. so you have to take care about this. Okay, so if I run this program, I'll simply enter a value greater than 15, then what I'll get? Don't play game. Why? When I enter 34, then it will not satisfy this first condition, then further तो चेक वो चेक करेगा ही नहीं. So जब यहीं पर false हो गया, that means इसका जो else part है वो execute हो जाएगा. Okay, so nested if का concept जो है basically ये मैंने यहाँ पढ़ाई एक diagram भी समझाया है कि एक ही program में if you want to use multiple ifs, multiple else statements, then you can prefer nested if programs. Here's the program which I have run here. Okay, so before discussing looping part, let's have some more programs. So I'll here using a program that is whether to check a given character is a vowel or a consonant. What are vowel? Everybody knows A, E, I, O, U are vowels. So if you want to check whether a given character entered by user is a vowel, then simply you just enter a character from user, that is an A, then in single quotes with double equal to is equality operator, you will check it is equal to A or E or I. See, here I using OR operator instead of AND operator. Why? The AND operator returns true if all these conditions become true, but I just want only one of them become true ना, so that's why I am using OR here. That means अगर इनमें से कोई भी एक वैल्यू एंटर होगी, that means वो एक वॉवल है. एंड मीन्स तो क्या होगा कि ए ई आई ओ यू सब इकट्ठा ही होना चाहिए, तो दैट इज़ नॉट पॉसिबल, दैट इज़ नॉट अ वॉवल. सो सिंपली इन केस ऑफ दिस इफ यू राइट ए ई स्मॉल ए, here also case Python is a case sensitive, so you should know about case sensitive means if you enter small a, that means small a will be checked. So in this program, if I write capital A as an input, then it will the result will be it is a consonant. Let me show you. First I'll write small a, it's showing given character is a vowel, and when I write capital A, when I write in this program, run this program, when you enter capital A, you will get given character is a consonant. So if in case if you want that you should check for capital letters also, vowels and capital letters, then you have to specify conditions here with the help of OR operator. Okay, so another example is also about if you enter any number, it will give you if value is greater than a, then it will print the value of cube, otherwise it will print the value of square. Okay, so here it is all about conditional statements. So I'll move to our next session, that is looping.